That'll teach me. Always buy your car parts off of eBay, kids. I'm kidding. Very, very selectively buy your car parts off of eBay. Alright everyone, so welcome back to Figure It Out. I wanted to do a little focus piece on this because we've had a very Figure It Out style event happen, as is common in our household. So I ordered this slim style quick release hub adapter from NRG. I ordered this off of Amazon. Against my better judgment, I decided I'd give Amazon a shot because I wanted the faster shipping. So it arrived in a pretty messed up box, which has obviously been taped shut by someone who received it initially. And when I opened it up, I found that it's been almost completely destroyed, but not quite. So, you know, partial credit. I'd say that's a solid D effort. Well, and that's a solid C effort from whoever received this the first time around. We've got a nicely at one time vacuum formed tray meant to hold this part, which is now torn and just generally ruined. This came in one piece together. However, it didn't work. And that's because whoever had this previously very obviously lost a piece. Thankfully, we were able to figure it out and not have to deal around with Amazon and their nonsense returns and all that type of stuff. So the way this is supposed to function is you open up your hub, you have your steering wheel attached as such, basically rotate that around, and it's supposed to snap in. So if you heard that snap, this is how it's supposed to operate. You'll see on the back end there's this little brass pin, and that matches up with this little push pin. So it's a super simple design, but it manages to retain it. And so then, in order to release this, you'll need to press in that button. Okay, so you're supposed to turn it around, and then you can remove your steering wheel from the existing hub assembly. So that's all well and good. That's how this is supposed to operate. That's what we like to see. However, that's not the product that I received. So if we pop in here and take off these retaining screws, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll try not to lose our pieces. Okay. So we've got a little cavity here where this little detent rides. So this is how I received it, where this piece was just sitting in here with no spring loading, no retention of any sort, so it could just spin around any which way but how. There was no locking, and that's no good. Well, so I took it apart and realized that this little detent here is what matters. And there was no spring underneath it. So I don't know if you can see there, but there's obviously a little bit of a counterbore there that allows for a spring to seat in, and then that's what retains, or that's what forces that pin out of this little housing and allows it to lock in. Well, I got to looking at it, and it looked pretty darn close to this spring. So this is a safety plunger spring from a Glock handgun. If you've ever worked on Glocks and done some customization, there's a small possibility that you have one of these laying around. And if you do, it rather nicely fulfills the need of this feature. So we will hold that bad boy in place, get that staged up roughly where it needs to go, spin that around, and there we go. So that seats it into that little spot and actually helps retain it a little bit. So rather than have to deal with a return, contact Amazon, deal with their nonsense, contact the seller, whatever, using equal parts ingenuity and parts we had laying around otherwise, we're able to get this piece back up and running. And we'll be able to install this on our vehicle possibly this weekend rather than in another week from now. Thus, by the way, Amazon, thus defeating any benefit to the Prime shipping, which I paid extra for. I could have happily ordered this off of eBay,